Oh my God, it's a Monday episode.
Monday.
Welcome back to Two Daddies Judging Baddies,
Judging Baddies.
where we read internet stories and then we give you a bonus episode on a Monday.
Bonus episode?
Yeah, why are we doing this, Dylan?
I don't know. It's fucking 11 o'clock on a Sunday.
This is, yes, and we are
Like the day before you guys are getting this.
the day before you're getting this. Yeah, a couple hours before this goes live. This is when we're recording this, and this is a thank you. Not for anything that you've ever done, something you're going to do, okay? We did this episode because apparently Spotify told us we don't tell you guys to follow enough.
There should be 11,000 of you, supposedly.
Supposedly. So we was like, hey, I think the perfect way to get people to follow, since every episode this week we don't tell people to follow along, would be make a Monday episode, bam, give them something for it.
A little extra, a little something.
This is our exchange. We could have said, hey, will you follow the podcast and also rate the podcast on whatever platform you're on?
Or berate the podcast.
Right.
Whichever.
We could have asked you to just do that in an episode, but we was like, what if we give them an episode that's really going to be like, yeah, man, I got to give this 5 stars, talk about how sexy Mike is, the other guy's all right looking, and then follow along.
You really going to trash me right after I get this beautiful mohawk? This
Oh, yeah.
beautiful, beautiful, sexy mane that I got going on?
It's going to be style for the rest of the week, but let's get into the first story.
Two daddies, judging baddies.
Now, actually, the first story is this is going to be a not safe for work episode. All the stories are not safe for work. Dylan did find one that I find hilarious that's going on this episode, kind of like a prelude into the nasty stuff. The title of the video is going to have like not safe for work or something, the not safe for work bonus thank you episode or whatever. But we're going to read this because it is pretty on the nose.
Yeah, I find that whenever we read these, and especially now that we have the tablets, we get to see the comments and all the things that people say. And I think this next segment is mostly towards the people that then discuss the stories that we typically cover.
Correct. All right. So, Dylan, you want to take this away since you were the one who came up with it?
All right. Am I the asshole? Unofficial rules.
So this is a unofficial rules for posting or commenting on Am I the Asshole?
And this thing's pretty recent, too. It's 12 hours, so 11 o'clock on a Sunday this afternoon it was posted. This is what I've noticed makes Am I the Asshole and adjacent subs so robotic and formulaic. Even if the content isn't an AI story, I find most popular ones that pop up have to have a certain formula to even have people discuss the actual issue. Otherwise, everyone gets lost in side tangents unrelated to the actual issue. So rule number 1 is, you should be between the ages of 27 and 34 to be mature enough to avoid dismissal for being too young, or question on why you do not have your shit together at your age.
I mean, to be fair, like some of these, they'll be like, I, 49 female, have been battling with my boyfriend, 52 male, over why he gets upset that I stab him with a nail file. And it's like, I feel like at this age, y'all should kind of have your shit together. It's like,
Yeah, that's for your early 20s.
yeah, right now we live at home with my parents and we're both jobless. And I was like, God, they're going to die. You have no retirement. Oh my God.
They're going to leave you the house, though,
Yeah, that's good. And
with
then
a mortgage that you can't afford.
they're going to sell it and then they're going to blow it. They're going to be like, oh man, we should just travel everywhere and, live our lives on the road. And they're just going
The
to
van life.
Right. They're going to go by Vegas, blow all their money and be back here working at a family dollar.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, I never see young people working at Dollar Generals or Family Dollar. It's always people well into their 40s and 50s.
mm-hmm. You gonna read number 2? Or am I reading them
Yeah.
all?
Okay. So number 2, any relationship/friendship must be at least a year over in length, preferably longer, to not get immediately told there's too many red flags and the relationship is too young. Immediately dump them/go no contact. The timeline for you not to be criticized for moving too fast in dating for 1.5 to 2 years before sharing an apartment. Okay. The timeline for you not to be criticized for moving too fast in dating for 1.5 years to 2 years before sharing an apartment. 3 to 5 years to be engaged. 5 to 7 years together totally before marriage. Otherwise, it's too soon. I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like when they're like, we've been together for 10 years and are now getting married, I'm like, oh.
You shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I feel like there's no love in that relationship.
Well, yeah, that was the thing is like I dated before I met my wife. I dated many different girls throughout from like the time I was 18 till I was 30, and a lot of those relationships were like 3 to 5 years long, and those ones like I did not want to get married, and so it eventually fell apart. Like by that time, you should know whether you're fully committed. Like I mean, it's different when you're 18. At
Right.
18, you can string it out a little bit, but beyond that, when you're in your mid to late 20s, you should not be dating somebody for like 4 years and be like, I don't know, maybe we get married, maybe not.
I feel like when it's 10 years, it's just like, well, I didn't find anybody better, so will
I'm
you marry me?
settling.
Yeah, I'm settling. Here we go. My dreams didn't come true, so let's do this thing.
I was gonna be famous.
All right, Dill's going to read number 3.
All right, everyone must be in therapy. You must be in therapy. You and your partner must be in individual and couples therapy. Your child must be in therapy. Your goldfish must be in therapy. Everyone should be in therapy. If someone is not in therapy, they must be told they should be in therapy. If everyone is in therapy and has been for at least a few months, then people will actually analyze the situation.
God, that's so true. And I think we pick on that a lot.
Just go to therapy.
Just, yeah, you need to go to a therapist, right? It'll be the most mundane thing. It'd be like, my boyfriend said he was going to go to Taco Bell. He only eats at the places he wants to eat at, doesn't let me ever eat at the place. And they're like, girl,
Therapy.
you need to go to therapy right now.
Red flag, go no contact, and you need therapy.
And in America, I'm sorry, but anytime someone, like, once people are like, you need to go, I'm like, how many therapy spots are on Reddit? Because therapy's fucking expensive.
Well, I'm sorry. Other than like if you're like depressed or anything, just talk to fucking AI. Like that's
PTSD and shit like that. Yeah, go to therapy.
One of the decent ways to get free/cheap therapy is just be like, hey, Claude, what do I do here in this situation?
People are gonna
I
be
need
like,
to get my
wow,
shit together.
wow, you're really gonna take somebody's job with AI? Yeah, when it's something that's necessary and expensive.
Super expensive here in America.
Super expensive here in America. Now, to our, European audience, Australian, we got a lot of Australians that follow the podcast. Australian audience, Zimbabwe audience.
Are they listening to the podcast or are they following? Did they hit the subscribe or follow button?
Oh, y'all
That's
are going to
the
hear that
question.
a lot this episode. I apologize. We're going to tell you a lot to not only follow, but to rate the podcast. Please, God, rate it.
I like adding berate to it. Like
Right.
If you want to just burn us in the like, as long as it's a 5-star, you can talk as much shit as you want to.
Absolutely. Like, absolutely. And honestly, I think only Apple Podcasts lets you type in a comment. I don't think Spotify lets you.
No, and that's the wild thing with Apple though. Like I've tried to like look at the comments and it won't show me shit. Like it picks like 3 of them and it's like those are the ones you can read.
But for our Apple listeners, if you when you rate the podcast, if you could just type in hilarious stuff that's going to confuse anybody from watching, just comment something down like 5 stars, be like, or do 4 stars and be like, I would give 5 stars, but this is like the 4th episode in blackface. Like the blackface finally, you're just like, oh, God, like I could deal with it 4 times or 3 times, but 4 times, that's fucking preposterous.
Go with the 5 though. Like you can go ahead and throw that 5 in there.
Absolutely.
Don't listen to Mike. 4. We don't need the 4s.
I mean, it's fine. Just a rate. Because when people look at the podcast, if there's a bunch of rates, they're more likely to click on that bitch. Also, we don't show up in the charts as much because we don't tell people to
Follow.
So,
All right, you're on number 4.
all right. Your child / your partner's children always come first no matter what. You must never date anyone your child doesn't love, and whatever person you date must be an angel at all times, and both parents must not force a relationship at that same time. Children must always be catered to at all times. This really only applies in discussion of parenting, step-parents, parental dating. If you want to discuss any situation as someone with kids, I'm sorry, I a little bit of my dip, a little bit of my, I got a big, man, it was just burning up a
Don't get the hiccups.
Yeah. These will give me the hiccups like a motherfucker. All right. If you want to discuss any situation as someone with kids, either with a spouse, a step-parent, etc., you have to empathize. You don't force a relationship. You have to empathize. You don't force a relationship. Yet at the same time, show up for every dance recital, basket weaving competition, graduation. Always put the kids first, even at you or your partner's expense, etc., to get the situation looked at. If the kid is an asshole to you or anyone else, it is automatically your fault.
I mean, I kind of I kind of agree with that one. Like most of it. It's
Right.
like that one's like actually, and I'm not saying like because I do think that, you know, your kids should definitely come first in a lot of your thoughts and everything. But if especially a grown kid, like you're talking about your kids in their 20s and like you and your spouse have split and now you're dating, they do not get like full veto power over what you do next in your life. When they're small children, yes, you should be prioritizing them because you have to raise a fully functional young adult. So don't fuck up those relationships.
If you a step parent and you got a teenager, bro, if they're fucked, there's nothing you can do. There is not a damn thing you gonna do that's gonna change their mind. But also at the same time, Dylan, number 5.
Also, fuck them kids if they ain't yours. Kids on a plane, baby in a restaurant, kid in a grocery store, friend or family member needs emergency babysitter. Fuck them kids no matter what.
That is so true. So any story where it's a couple and there's kids, even if it's a shit, it's like we gotta figure out what's going wrong, everything like that. If someone's just like, oh my God, there was this whiny baby at a grocery store and this lady wanted me to hand her some rice roni and I said, fuck you, bitch, you got a crying ass baby. Reddit gets so unnecessarily like just too mad at little babies. They're like if it's a baby on a plane and someone's mean to the mom or something like that, they're not like, hey, there's nothing you can do with a little baby. If it wants to cry, air pressure in the ears, like they got to travel. A lot of people have to travel with babies. Does not matter. Automatically, the person who does not have the kid is the saint, and the fucking person with the crying baby is at fault.
I've never watched it, but I get the premise of it simply from the title, Snakes on a Plane. We should do Babies on a Plane, where it's just a fuck ton of babies on a plane.
Right. Yeah, there's something happens. We get on oh my God, that's so fucking good. We get on an airline flight and it's just like we're going to Australia.
Like
it's one of those straight flights.
18 hours.
Yeah, 18 hours long. And we get on, and we also get on with like the National Association of Nursing Mothers or something like that.
Like colicky babies, like every single one of them. Like
Oh, yes, there you go. The National Association of Colic Awareness. Yeah, there you go. Oh, God. Oh, fuck.
Got our next movie idea. All right, so it's 6 on you.
Okay. Number 6. Say English isn't your first language and apologize, then post the post in perfect English. That way, any spelling or grammatical errors don't cast a bad light on your intelligence. I swear I don't know why people bother until the grammar police stop by. That is so true. I'm like, sorry, English isn't my first language. And then it's beautiful.
write it perfect.
Except for a story later this week where I go really hard on someone that's like, English isn't my first language, but I became a fan. The only reason
I'm
I got
a
on
professional writer.
I'm a professional writer and became fantastic at English. Not a singular fucking word is capitalized. I lost my shit.
Oh, yeah.
I lost my shit.
All right, number 7. Explain using a throwaway for a deeply personal situation to avoid being called a bot. Who is on Reddit telling people their account names? I don't know how they wrote that. Like, hey, is English your first language?
Right.
All right, so who would put themselves asking, am I the asshole for refusing to be intimate with their fat friend on Maine? I swear it's the norm to use a throwaway on these subs. Yeah, that's pretty solid.
I don't get it. Like, no one's out here knowing each other's. And then too.
I get that, but like I get what they're saying about like, yeah, just make a burner. Like for if you've got a crazy fucking scenario, if you do have any communities you participate in, you're not just like, oh, let me also throw this weird fucking story into the mix. So anybody that I'm even not friends in real life with, but friends with on here, and we shoot the shit every once in a while. And it's like, why, or am I the asshole for not licking my wife's toes after she stepped in dog shit? Like, I don't need that on my main account. Like,
Yeah, right. Number 8. No age gaps over 3 years or someone's a predator or has no power imbalance. This one I actually did not agree with. No age gaps over a year if they are a teenager. The whole discussion will focus on the age gap instead of the actual issue.
I mean, yes, it matters like how old, like it could be a fucking 20-year age gap and it doesn't matter if you're like 40 and 60.
Right.
But as you get closer down to the legal
age
limit
I'm
of
sorry,
18,
but if it does feel weird if it's 18 and 25. I don't like it feels weird. It's two people of two different mindsets, two different cognitive abilities. So that one I don't like. But what he is saying is there will be a lot of comments will be like, I 24 and my boyfriend 27, and they'll be like, that's because y'all don't have it. No, I mean, y'all could have stuff in common. Yeah, y'all could have shit in common. Once a woman's brain is fully developed, a guy's brain is fully developed, I can kind of get behind the...
Well, and like it's different. Like with like teenagers, like 18 and 15. It's sketchy. But also, you guys are both in high school. You're in the same realm. But like the second that it's like a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old or 16-year-old, like you are out of school, you are working, you're like in college and stuff. You guys should not be commingling at that point. So it gets weirder as like one person is over the legal age and the other person isn't. Like that's
Right,
where
yeah.
it gets super sketchy.
If it's a 28, 30-year-old woman, she's dating a 55-year-old
Does
guy.
not matter.
That's a woman with a fully. I don't care then. I don't care about the age gap. You don't got to do the divide, add 7. None of that shit. That's an adult making an adult decision with an adult brain. If you say 21 female, male 45, no, you've not got to experience life.
Well, yeah, I agree, but you are a full-grown adult that can make that decision yourself. I'm not saying that it's a good one.
Right.
but-
I at least want the brain to be fully developed, which I believe for women's like 22, men 24, something like that.
No, men are like 27.
Yeah, we do not. We develop very slowly.
Yeah, no, that one just gets super sketchy, and it is more so like power dynamics. If there's any sort of power dynamics of the older person like being a predator against the younger person, that's where it becomes a problem. If you are 21 years old and you meet some guy out regularly and you chase after him, it's not really as big of a deal. But if like a 45, 50-year-old guy is going after girls that are, in their 20s,
Bro, we could
likely-
have made a whole episode with this.
we could have.
We could have.
All right, so number 9, you must have hobbies. They must be acceptable, like hiking, board games, baking, swimming, D&D, etc. This shows you are social, active, and intelligent. If your hobbies involve anything that may be addictive, poker, hanging out at a pub, gaming, too expensive, takes time away from partner or kids, socially isolated, etc., you will be criticized for that instead of the issue. You should say you volunteer to show you are actually a generous person if anyone calls you stingy.
That is correct. Like, it's so funny how the outdoorsy, like, if you are in a relationship, all right, and you ignore your spouse 15 hours a day. I have a friend. Well, I wouldn't say a friend. I know a guy who goes biking, okay, he chooses biking instead of being a dad. That's fucked. Like, but people who play video games get that stigma way too much. It's like, I play video games. Like, oh, you probably don't pay attention to your partner. No, there are people who can handle playing video games. Anybody can take a hobby too far.
Yeah,
Too far.
like podcasting.
Right.
Like in here on a Sunday just so we can get some follows.
Nah, we would never do that.
Yeah, no, and that's another one of those things. It's a balance. Like video games are fine as long as you're not neglecting your kids. Biking is fine as long as you're not neglecting your kids. Exercising, fucking playing poker is fine as long as you're not stealing money from your family and hurting like your time expenditures for.
If it literally was not for video games, I would have written a full 90-page in one day. I would have written a full 90-page screenplay. Because I started cooking and I was like, fuck, I feel it. I feel good. And then I was just like, let me play a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! See how I feel after
Just
that.
a touch.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Memes incoming on the Reddit.
All right, so I think it's you on 10.
All right, so 10, no drinking excessively or drugs ever. I low-key agree with that, though, because a lot of these Am I the Assholes are like relationship stuff.
Yeah, but if you're a young kid, like, not that it's good, but we all made stupid decisions at young ages.
If you're a young adult, man, and you're not in a relationship, smoke weed all the time, man. Go to work. You working, you're trying to advance your life. When you got downtime from it, smoke weed. Fill your
or
time
if
with
you want
smoking
to
weed.
go to the bar and drink, like as long as you got a DD or a Uber or whatever, you're not putting other people in danger with your drug usage.
Right.
Enjoy yourself.
Because that is crazy. Someone will be like, I did X. And they'll be like, fuck, you're a terrible person. If you mention getting drunk ever, unless you act extremely embarrassed and say it was a one-time thing, you will get shoved in therapy and the alcoholic box and will have whatever situation ignored. They do allow occasional pot use, but are strict on that as well. You will be funneled into being an asshole if you do not meet these guidelines. True.
All right, number 11. Food mentioned must almost always be homemade unless you mention ordering takeout or dining out occasionally because you're overwhelmed and mention you don't make it a habit. I don't get that one. Do people really go hard on people for the food thing?
I don't know. I don't really see that. This must be a personal thing then.
They made fun of me for
right,
fucking getting takeout.
My wife, she made I don't even know what it was. It was like some pasta chicken wrap stuff tonight. That shit was so good. But she cooks a bunch of things, and she's always trying new stuff, which is awesome. I'm in the point in my life I do not want to eat takeout food. Like anytime someone's like, "Let's go eat somewhere," I was just like, "I was hoping you'd cook tonight." A, it's less expensive. B, it tastes better. But then you have moments where she made a salad, okay, and that salad was vinegary as all hell. I was like, "What is like?" She was just like, "You know what? Tastes no salad, all vinegar." The saving grace was she has some chopped up onions in the kitchen. So I threw a lot of those in there and just had like
Flavors back.
a cucumber onion salad with no cucumbers in it. It was just an onion salad. All right. Number 12, you should have cameras almost everywhere and document everything via text message and email and journals. Otherwise, you'll get almost automated messages to get a doorbell cameras around the house, inside the house facing exits. If you have this set up, you can avoid this automated message.
Nice.
I recommend that anyways.
I got that, so I'm good.
Yeah, we're in the times of
How would we see the homeless guy with 2 hunting knives out front of our studio if we didn't have a camera out there?
See, we can talk shit about people because we, at the core of it, we do understand that, it's like the crack epidemic that happened in the black communities, which, black communities, it's hard, especially, back in the 80s and 90s, it being hard for them to get jobs and shit like that. I mean, honestly, if you look at the grand scheme of life, we were just coming out of, segregation and everything like that. You have a lot of older managers who were just like, "Nah, I ain't hiring no black people." So then black people start drug dealing and it kind of like starts this thing. Well, I don't know how, but the government got really good at doing that to all people now, especially with the cost of living. So you do have a lot of desperate people trying to make money. If you break into my house, I'm going to kill you. I'm also going to understand that, hey, it sucks that I had to do this and you were fucking fighting out of desperation.
Well, hey, guess what? I ain't got shit in here to steal. So like maybe go to the house that has a bunch of expensive shit that you could then hawk rather than a bunch of shit that I couldn't sell on Facebook Marketplace for $50. So like picking the wrong house, bud.
We're in the process of putting a hunting rifle together for my 9-year-old because he wants to get into marksmanship. So, and I'm just like, fuck yes, because he's got that genius autism. So, boy's about to be an Olympic champion. Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I'm gonna be the type of dad that just shows up and, we're just like chilling right there. Everybody's like, practicing, looking down. The dads are giving like discussions on, their son and stuff like that. And then another dad comes up and talks to him. He's like, "Oh, how long has he been shooting?" I'm like, "A year." I'm like, "Oh, you need to show you anything?" I'm like, "Nah, he's gonna win. He's gonna win." I'm telling you that autism is a superpower. And I was waiting for him to finally be like,
something he was passionate
yeah,
about.
something that he was passionate about. So we're watching like YouTube and stuff like that. And it was like they were shooting like subsonic guns. And we were both into it. We're dudes. Okay, you get a gun video on there. I don't care about guns at all. I'm gonna watch the fucking video. And I was just like, "You want to do that together?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I saw a video where people do that in like competition and stuff like that." He had saw the meme of the guy who, I think, did he hold it sideways or no? He held it and just with one hand. Everybody else was using two.
Without all the extra like
Right.
optical shit on them.
Yeah, and that is my 9-year-old son. He's like that level because that dude's autistic. That's like his level. When he grows up, he's just going to be he reminds me of my father-in-law, unfortunately. Father-in-law gets mad at self-checkouts and stuff like that. And, I talked a lot of shit about my father-in-law in here, especially like I first met my wife. But he has turned into just a solid fucking grandpa. He took my daughter out, then went to Martinsville yesterday, then went to some wrestling event. My daughter don't really like wrestling, but she's a good daughter where she's going to be like
wrestling the proper Southern way.
Wrestling. Yeah, took her to a wrestling event. And she doesn't really like the wrestling. She does love she
racing.
I make fun of her for it all the time. I was like, "They're taking a left turn. Oh my God." She was like, "Yeah, well." Every time I watch the Panthers game, she goes, "They're going to lose." And I'm like, "Oh, if they're up by 14 points, they're going to blow it somehow." And I was just like, "Probably shut up."
How do you know?
But it's cute. It's adorable. He did turn into, like I said, he has his quirks that fucking annoys the all hell out of me. Like when he picked up my daughter today, he had 2 people going to the wrestling show. And just 2 random people walking. I'm just like, no, you can't bring random people into my house where I got kids here. He was on the door. I was like, "Yeah, I got a fucking naked 5-year-old.
Naked little
Yeah, I got a naked 5-year-old in here. Y'all can't come in." So they had a waddle their way back to the car.
All right. So number 13, as long as you say something is a boundary to someone, then they can never question it and must obey you. And any reaction you have to someone crossing boundaries is reasonable and justified. Someone can cross a boundary just by discussing the boundary with you.
Yeah, there's some of them that's just really stupid. It's once again, there's an episode where we talk about furries, okay? And I get very villain mic comes out, you would say, but there's people that have boundaries and for good reasons, and then there's people that hear that people have boundaries and they're like, I'm gonna make some boundaries. They're just fucking ludicrous, especially for like living life and like a situation with like a job or something like that. They'll just come up with like the stupidest boundaries. I'm like, that hurts the people that say they have boundaries. Like it fucking hurts those people. So how about if you got boundaries, just kind of keep that to yourself, or if it's very unrealistic, I go to therapy.
Have you ever tried to set a boundary with your wife?
Nah,
I tried with the cats. I was like, okay, we're going to set this timeline, this boundary. If they still are acting like shit bags, we get rid of them. I put that boundary there. It doesn't actually exist. It's like an imaginary line on a map that like
I'm pretty easygoing. I don't really have.
I had a cat piss on a towel today and I was like, God damn it.
I'm gonna tell you what though. I woke up today with something crawled up my ass. I was being so rude to my wife. Like anytime she asked me, I'm like, anything else, Your Highness? I don't know what was going on, but also she wanted me to try some food. Okay, and in the middle of trying the food, I dropped it on my shirt.
Vinegar salad?
No, this was the pasta. I had dropped it on my shirt and it rolled onto my pants leg. Okay, motherfucker. So she was trying to be cute as I dried the food, and she was staring at me. When I looked back, she was still staring at me, waiting for me to try the food. And I was like, can you please stop staring at me? And then she was like, oh, I was just trying to be. And I immediately right there, what I'm good at though is I'm like, you know this. If I'm being a dick, I'm really good at like being like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. Like I have spoke to you a couple times today and I was frustrated. You have literally done nothing for me to be frustrated at. I don't know why I'm being a petty bitch today. And I apologize to her. So once you do that, with a woman, after apologizing about 4 or 5 more times, she comes around. But usually when I do it with you're like, oh, it's fine. But yeah, I don't know why I was being a little baby today. Just a little bitch baby.
Happens.
All right, so number 13. Oh, wait, no. Number 14. You will get sympathy for any mental illness, disorder, disability, etc. as long as you state that you are in therapy, do the work, never impose on anyone, and don't use it as an excuse, in parentheses, only an explanation. I actually disagree with this because if you say your child or a child in the story is neurodivergent or just like non-neurotypical, then people are going to be like, wow, you did not consider that child. No. A child can be, we've talked about this before, a child can be neurodivergent and still you could be like, that's dude, that kid needs help. Mm-hmm. The parent is not doing their fucking job. You can absolutely do this. I got 2 neurodivergent kids. One, I'm not going to put him in a situation where people are going to be like, wow, you need to be a better parent.
That's one of the biggest keys. Like you have to be a parent and then know what situations they're welcome in, because you can't just take one and drop it into a situation and be like, everybody else is an asshole because they're not being accepting of my kid. Well, no. You literally just like dropped a bomb in this place where like you should know how to bring your kid into those scenarios and not make it be completely like fall apart because you've entered your kid into it. Like, not that your kid's not welcome, but you have to parent while your kid is there.
So during the play this week, my 9-year-old had a play. We had to take Theo. Mm-hmm. And we know taking Theo, he's not going to sit there and watch a play. So he's doing all well. He's like, they're doing a singing part. He's like sitting there dancing, being all cute and shit like that. Well, during a part of the play, they all go, shh. Look, I'm looking at the camera right now. If you shush my soon-to-be 5-year-old, he will lose his fucking mind. That is one of the biggest things. Yeah. Start screaming and everything like that. So I take him out first, and then I take him to the playground. So we switch so we can kind of both watch a little bit of the play. We're riding back home, and she was like, I don't want, I'm never going to be embarrassed of my son. And I was like, I'm not embarrassed about him. Like, And I understand too that people are going to be like, oh, why they bring that screaming ass kid to a play? I understand that. Anybody that knows Theo, and the good part about them going to a smaller school is that they all know who Theo is. So nobody has a fucking problem when Theo starts losing his mind.
But you did the correct thing. Like, that's the thing is, like, you don't just then leave him in there and let him continue to be wild and crazy. Like, he's having his moment. You take the kid to try and get that moment to be over with and get him distracted and moving on to something else.
As we're
rather
going to the
than-
playground, a teacher shushed the fucking classroom. So, I mean, he is losing his fucking shit.
It's like grenades coming from everywhere.
The cutest part though was after a singing part and they got done, he goes, "Good job." So, and then the whole crowd goes, "Oh," and it's like half is laughing. They love it.
Yeah. But that's the and I don't know how much I can really get into it, but there was a situation here with a Santa that basically there was a kid that is neurodivergent and he was like biting or something, and he's like, "You need to sit over there," and like blah blah, blah, I'm gonna handle this, and then once you've calmed down, like we'll go ahead and do the thing. And the parent like lost their shit because the Santa was stepping in to just be like, "Hey, you can't act like that here in Santa's little workshop area." And like that's the whole thing is like the parent needs to take care of that. You know how your kid is. You don't just like put this child that is having some issues right now, just throw them in there and be like, "Here you go, Santa, deal with it."
Yeah, because
Here you go.
here's the thing: like, we would not have taken Theo if we had somebody to watch. We just didn't have anybody to watch him.
Yeah.
We want to go support our son. If someone was just like, if someone would have said they don't know who Theo is or anything like that, if they're like, "Hey, man, you think you can?" You know what I'm saying? If we kept him in there and he was screaming or something like that, if they were like, "Hey, you want to take him outside?" I'm not going to fault that person for asking me that because I should not have taken him to that. But we both wanted to support our other
I
son.
think you guys did the exact right thing. Is like you took him, he got to be a part of it. Something set him off, and then like you just remove him, like, and you go do something else. And like, yes, it would be better if both you and your wife could be there to support your son. But your son knows that, like,
Right.
he knows what triggers him, and he doesn't expect you guys to both be sitting there with the child, like going crazy. Like
That is such a sad thing too, because that is not in the grand like when you think about it, big picture, it's not fair to him and him being a 9-year-old, and we've really like worked on that with, and he understands too that Theo needs extra precautions if something's happening. If he gets up on a Saturday and Theo's already playing the game, he can't then just grab the game because Theo's going to lose his mind because
I
he'll
mean,
be like,
you're Daddy Warbucks. You should just have like 4 PlayStations in your house.
yeah, no, that's not how that works. I'm so poor. And this PlayStation's on its last leg. But what I will do is I'll say, look, he's playing right now. What I'm going to do in a couple of minutes after I see, because there's a certain part where I know I can get the game from him. What he likes to do is he deletes all the games and then he installs them. Well, after the game gets done installing, if you take the game in, it's a little less bad. And what we do is I've tried to start this thing too, where I go, Theo's had a big turn. It's Ollie's turn. So now when I grab I'm like, all right, bud, let's give the game to Ollie. He'll go, Theo had a big turn. It's Ollie's turn. And he get mad. He's still mad, but he'll say it. It's adorable.
Yeah, no, you guys are doing the right thing. Like anybody that faults you for the way that you handled it, they're the asshole.
Right.
Like, but that's the thing is like if you were not actively parenting, then somebody can say something, and not that you're going to react in a good way, but like if you are actively trying to handle the situation, but that's where a lot of like that last comment is like that kid's neurodivergent, they should be able to get away with anything. No, like you still parent the kid.
And Theo still gets held accountable for his actions. Like if he throws something down, the cutest thing now though is, so he would get mad, he'd throw something on the ground. I'm like, all right, clean it up. We're not doing nothing till you clean it up. I don't care if we cry or whatever. We're going to pick it up. And then after he gets done throwing a fit, he finally sits there and picks it up. But because he used to do that, now anytime he spills something, he himself, and you cannot do it, he will go get a towel, a rag, whatever, and clean up the mess. And it's so fucking adorable, especially because he'll spill like a little thing. And then you see him come back with a big old towel and he'll just like start wiping it up.
Yeah.
I try to get him to get paper towels. He won't do it.
No,
he will not.
He's a green person. Like he's very sustainable oriented. He doesn't want to just waste paper towels. Like
right. He is being super, super good in school right now. And, but at home, we don't know what's going on. Just little things starting to set him off just for the past couple of days. And usually that happens when like he takes little evolutionary steps. So it gets like real bad, and he'll eat a lot of food during that time too. Nonstop eats food. The thing is, in our fridge, if Theo can reach it, he will eat it. He is the most non-picky kid ever. The only thing he doesn't like is hummus. But if he can reach it in the fridge, he's going to eat it. And every time he goes through this spell, and it'll be like a week spell of him just getting mad at every fucking thing, losing his shit at everything. After the end of that, he'll be talking more, knows more stuff.
Yeah.
Growing pains.
Yeah, and I mean, all kids go through, like, that's my daughter, she's going through one where everything is upsetting her. But it's still one of those things, like, where it's easier for me to just do the things for her. Like, I mean, she knows how to brush her teeth. But this morning we had this big back and forth about, she's like, you just do it. And she's like, I promise I'll do it next time. I was like, no, like, let's make the promise. I will brush your teeth the next time, but you go ahead and handle it this time. So that she, like, goes ahead and she feels uncomfortable. She's, like, not wanting to do it. She wants to get her way, but, like, she'll get her way, just not the way she wanted it.
Right.
Like, she's losing her mind saying that she needs me to do it. And I'm like, I'll make you a deal. I will brush your teeth tomorrow, but you brush them today. And then we can, because she wants her way every single time. And she keeps, like, doing the promises. And I was like, I believe you, but let's make this deal different so that, you know, we both kind of get what we need to get out of this.
Parenting sucks. It's so hard.
It's a weird chess game.
It is. And it's equal parts frustrating. It is frustrating. I ain't going to lie. It's equal parts frustrating, difficult, and rewarding.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and crush through this so we can have the last 30 or 40 minutes of crazy, wild, not safe for work. All right, number 15. A pet will humanize OP, but only go for rescues and only have 2 larger animals max, with maybe 1 to 2 smaller animals. I haven't really seen the animal people.
So the top comment says, there's a number 16. That's the top comment. It says, your entire family and friends you have ever had has to have an opinion and become involved in any conflict you have. That's not for the commenter. That is for the poster, because it's just like, ask my friends and family. And it's just like, whoa.
And half of them think I'm an asshole.
Yeah, half of them think I was in the wrong.
I was shot in the leg, and I called the shooter an asshole. Half of my family thinks I'm the asshole.
Right. I wonder what controversial says. I wonder how many bots Big Therapy operates in these forums. Most topics seem to be free adverts for therapy. That is so, I told you, man.
Yep.
It boils my damn skin.
Big Therapy's out here just cleaning up on Reddit.
Just cleaning up on Reddit. Now, from here on out, this is going to be our not safe for work episode.
Very not safe for work.
There's a bunch of them that are just, they are, especially the ones Dylan has. The ones I have, a little bit, okay, but we're going to go ahead and get into the not safe for work mic voice. Before we do that, I want to remind you to follow the podcast or whatever platform you're on. Hit that follow button, okay, because you love us. And then we're doing this for you, bonus Monday episode for you. Hit that follow and then hit that rate. However many stars you want to give us, I can't tell you how much you love this podcast, okay? But I'm saying 5 stars does seem like a good deal for a whole episode that we give you to remind you to follow and rate. All right? But now, listeners to the Two Daddies Judging Baddies podcast.
Judging Baddies.
These next stories are not safe for work.
Not safe for work.
If you're in an environment where hearing about dicks, balls, vaginas, or titties can get you in trouble, turn off this podcast now or put in some earbuds, preferably.
You forgot ass.
Oh, ass. Yep, asses too, definitely. Big booty Latinas. Yeah. Then, but yeah. I just don't turn it off. Just put in some earbuds now, or people will hear about the dicks, balls, vaginas, titties, and ass. I got to write that out so I know how to do that every single time.
Okay, Google. Look for big Latina booties.
Yeah. Hey, Siri, will you show me pictures of Latinas with big booties?
See, this is not a problem if you have earbuds in.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Google, show me pictures of big booty Latinas. I wonder if that, we have gotten people with that before, have we? Yeah. Yep. You're welcome if we got you. You're doubly welcome if we got you in a place where somebody saw that pop up.
All right, you going first?
Yep. So the time I fucked up by being too horny to notice something had gone horribly wrong, not safe for work. Now, before we get into this, no, we're going to do it afterwards, okay? All right.
Okay.
So, well, this didn't happen today, but it's a funny story that I couldn't share with Reddit at the time. That's why it should be time I fucked up.
No.
That's why everybody says it.
3 people.
I will die on this hill. Rewind back to me at 14 years old. Awkward, naive, constantly horny, and still oblivious to the fact that websites dedicated to porn existed. As such, my attempts at finding stimulating material usually resulted in me typing boobs and butts and thongs into Google search and then immediately deleting my history. That still sounds like a sound strategy, though.
Incognito tab's way better.
Right. Still sounds like
It works.
every guy that just heard that is like, that's standard, dude. Yeah. Standard. One night, to avoid watching TV with my dad, his wife, and her 2 kids downstairs, I claimed that I had homework in quotations to do. Of course, this was just a lie. I just wanted boobs and butts and thongs and some private time. So I fired up the old desktop, got to Internet Explorer, and went straight to Google and started getting my freak on. Now, this is where things went wrong. I got horny and forgot the layout of my house. You see, my bedroom was upstairs and I had no door. A sort of spiral staircase, think straight edges though, led up to my room, which was located almost directly above the living room where, again, my dad, his wife, and her 2 kids were watching TV. The desktop was right next to the staircase, but I figured that the TV was loud enough to mask the sounds of my sins. I was right. But what I didn't account for was the big white wall directly to my right that the staircase adjoined and how it was visible from the living room. I also didn't register that the reading lamp on my nightstand, which was turned on and so very bright, was to the left and pointed directly at me.
I see where it's going, and it's so great.
I eventually did notice, however, that the downstairs had gone quiet and that no one in the living room was talking. That's when I turned to my right and looked at the wall and realized that I was casting a giant shadow puppet of me masturbating across its entire length. A perfect shadow projection of my penis and head stretched across its surface. And I had no idea how long the people downstairs had noticed. So I did what anyone would do in that situation. I put my dick away, as did my shadow puppet, pulled up my pants, walked to my bathroom, and sat there until I heard the TV come back on. Then I went to bed without saying a word and left for school early the next day. No one ever brought it up, and I'm thankful. But I know what they saw, and I'm still cringing.
That is so fantastic.
That is so fucking good. God.
Yeah, I thought I picked some good ones, but you definitely beat me on that one.
Oh, God, that's so sweet.
I
think that's the sweetest thing I've ever heard. I think that's the sweetest thing Dylan ever said to me on the podcast.
Probably.
God.
So the most controversial comment?
Yeah.
So you got possibly 2 stepsisters, eh?
Right. It was a little shadow puppet.
And then a giant shadow puppet. And then the person says puppet master at its best.
Right. Oh, man. God.
Why
What if
almost all posts in the sub quote, I have sex? I don't get that one.
Yeah, they weren't having sex. So what I was going to talk about before I read that story, have you ever caught anybody masturbating?
Not that comes to mind. Like, not, no.
So, for some reason, and I can't tell you what their thought process was, but I'm in a house. There's probably 6 people in the house. I am in one of the back bedrooms asleep. Everybody seems to be on the far end of the other trailer in one room, like talking, smoking weed and stuff like that. So I hear like talking and laughing and stuff, and I can't get any sleep. So I was going to go in there and be like, hey, shut the fuck up. You know, I'm like 17 at this point. Shut the fuck up. God, you ain't got to laugh. Ain't nobody telling jokes this funny. Shut up. So as I go out, there was another friend who was not in the room. Instead, they were on that couch. There was a couch. The living room was right there. They were on the couch in the living room beating their dick. And I didn't know what to do. Like, I had like just awake brain. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there like, what are you? And he looks up at me.
Just keeps going at it.
No, puts his dick, like you could tell he was like, oh God. And I was like, you couldn't do that. What I said was, just do it in the bathroom, bro. Like, I was cool about it because I didn't want to like
your work scenarios.
Yeah, just do it in the bathroom, bro. I didn't want to like be a dick because I already know that they feel terrible, and I'm not trying to make them feel any more terrible. But I lay back down. The next day, everybody's still there. Some people are outside, and I was just like, "What possessed you doing on the couch?" I talked to him about it. He was like, "I don't know." I was just like, nobody was there. I was watching.
The mood struck.
Yeah, the mood struck, and I was like, ain't nobody going to come out. And
It's
I
only
forgot
gonna
you
take
were.
me like 3 to 5 minutes, and it's done. Like, what are the odds that somebody's gonna come out during this time period?
I forgot you were in there. I'm sorry. And he was like, "I'm sorry you had to see that," and I'm like, whatever. I know how embarrassed they were, but I was still like, yeah, we're going to talk about this. Like, we're going to have a conversation about it because it's going to make them feel better too.
Yeah,
like it's going to make them feel better.
Well, because then it's not like
sit there and joke about it. Yeah,
awkward.
yeah. If I didn't bring it up and was just like, anytime they talk to me, I just like nervously look at them. That make them feel terrible. Which in hindsight, I could have done that. Yeah, in hindsight, I could have done that. But
do you want to get awkward?
Yeah, right.
We're about to get awkward.
Oh, okay, let's get awkward.
Am I the asshole?
Well, before we get awkward,
Huh?
how about if you are listening to this, enjoying yourself?
I feel like we're doing a telethon for like like we're asking for money for the church. Or
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. Every time something happens, like, all right,
all
guys,
right, we're almost at our
Hope you guys
our
enjoyed
follow
that.
goals.
Yeah, we're almost at our follow goals. Remember, guys, we still have 29 boxes of the Miracle Water, 30 boxes of the gold-plated Bibles. You got to get it now. It's going fast, guys. Let's let Preacher Bob go up. Preacher Bob's coming up. Guys, I want them phone lines going. We got to make money for God.
Doesn't it feel like that?
It does. Yeah, it does feel like one of those. Guys, if you are enjoying this, if you are enjoying yourself while listening to it, A, check to make sure you're not casting a giant shadow puppet. But B, just go ahead and hit that follow button. Go ahead and hit that rate button. Give us a little ratesy do.
We've been responsible for a couple orgasms. I don't think any from listening to our podcast.
We inspired a husband to start doing cunnilingus.
Yes.
So that's the value that you get on this podcast for new people who are not familiar with our podcast. We do not break away from stories this much to tell people to follow, but we're doing it today because we've not done it forever.
It's the follow-thon.
Yeah, one time we was like, man, we got a lot of follows this day. What was it? And it was just Dylan going, oh, by the way, guys, if you're not followed, just follow along with the podcast.
Well, I think you had read something where you thought rating was like the top thing that we need, but really it's both. Like, I mean, it's all. It's and thankful for you who comment on a lot of these because that also adds to everything. But really the follow and the rating are the two.
Well, it helps us
pushers.
get sponsorships too. Like it helps us get sponsorships. And then like say we want to get guests on the podcast. 11,000 people look a lot more than our numbers. And then Spotify's like, hey, y'all have numbers. Y'all just got to tell people to follow.
Yep. So now you're ready to get awkward?
Yep, let's get awkward.
Am I the asshole for refusing to show my vagina to my stepdad's friends?
When Dylan told me I don't know anything about this story, but when Dylan told me the line to that, I was like, we're not doing those stories anymore, bro. Like we are not doing, stories that involve kids. And he was like, it's not a kid. I was like, throw it on. All right. Yep.
I mean, she's young. She's 22, but it's a weird setup, and yeah, it's still sketchy. It's just not like, okay, so hi everyone. I, 22 female, am dealing with a pretty bizarre and uncomfortable situation, and I could really use some outside perspectives. I live with my mom and stepdad. I've been struggling with long COVID, which has made it difficult for me to work and live independently. My mom and stepdad are deeply involved in a very unconventional art scene. My stepdad considers himself an, quote, artist and owns a gallery space where he often performs this really weird performance art. Recently, my mom and stepdad decided to embrace nudism. They fully adopted this lifestyle and are now nudists at home. They've been pressuring me to join them in their nudist practices, arguing that it's all about body positivity and freedom. Initially, I was really uncomfortable with the idea, but they kept insisting that I should try it to feel more liberated and empowered. Reluctantly, I started going nude around the house to keep the peace. That's super weird.
Yeah, so this is a situation of stepdad, like, I want to see her naked. What can we do let's be nudists?
And mom's back in the play.
Yeah, dude, women love to just be like, I value this man infinitely more than I value my kid.
However, it didn't take long for things to get extremely awkward. My stepdad started lingering around me more than usual and made comments about how beautiful my body is, specifically complimenting my vulva. He would say things like, you have such a beautiful vulva, and you should be proud of your body.
Fire.
Things reached a new level of discomfort when my stepdad approached me with a proposal for one of his art exhibits. He wants me to be a part of a piece he's working on about feminine sexual empowerment because, in his words, I have such a beautiful vulva and would be perfect for it.
Look, bro, this is the conversation we were having. Like, only if one day it became legal for women to walk around topless. And how already like sexualized men are. Because if you went and asked 100 guys,
Well, how sexualized women are, but like men
yeah, how
view it.
sexualized women are, not men, but how pretty much men brain are something that, you know, gives baby milk. We love to death. We find it very sexual. And that's because of media and all the shit that, you know, since a young age was implanted onto us. But if you were to go around and ask 100 guys, you think women should be able to walk around topless? They'd be like, yep.
Not my wife, but yeah.
Yeah. Not my wife, but yep. Yep. If you went and asked 100 single dudes now, yeah, they'd all be like, yes. If you went and asked 100 neckbeards, indubitably, they would do that.
Yeah.
So this is his weird ass. I don't know. This dude is definitely a predator. Like, I wonder how long, because I mean, it's a stepdad. They've obviously been married, so he's known her for probably a good while.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a weird scenario, but like it is one of those weird like sex forward weird places. Like the mom and him are both practicing nudism around the kid. Like it's just such a weird like I mean
what she needs to do is she needs to get a boyfriend with a big old dick.
huge dong.
A huge dick, and I guarantee his stepdad's gonna be like, well,
Maybe he doesn't go nude.
yeah, I've decided we end this nude thing.
All right, so the art would involve me basically showing my pussy to a bunch of people at the gallery and then masturbating in front of them while there's different colored lights shining on me. The idea of participating in this, quote, art makes me feel extremely exposed and objectified, especially given how he has been behaving lately. I told my mom how uncomfortable I am with all this, but she just brushed it off, saying that it's just art and that I should support my stepdad's passion. She says the only reason I don't want to do it is because I've internalized a lot of misogyny and shame around sexuality from our sex-negative culture. We fought about it, and it got really heated. She told me that as long as I stay in their house and they pay my bills, I have no right to be disobedient like this. I didn't read this part. This is wild. She also told me to, quote, go vote for Trump then if you're such a woman-hating evangelical Christian.
This is where just because you were like, I don't know why, but Democrats will be like, I'm a Democrat, which makes me a good guy. And I'm just like, if I see so many people on TikTok that are just like these performative, like, you know, they're doing these big creators that are doing the whole no kings thing and like that and yada, yada, yada. And then shit will come out that, you know, they were talking to an underage girl or they're actually this horrible person. And I'm just like, yeah.
Burn them down.
They're performative people. They're terrible fucking people. That's why when we shit on Republicans and Democrats, it's because me and Dylan are not Republican. We are not Democrat. Like we talked about this on Friday. We believe in human rights. Like that's it. We just believe in human rights. Oh God, I'm gonna tell you the funniest story. Okay. So we go to Food Line. My 9-year-old Oliver, I don't care, I'm naming my kids. Ain't nothing gonna happen to him. But he goes, we're in the store, and his shirt says Malcolm, Martin, Maya, Frederick. Okay. We're sitting there, and I'm looking at a shirt while we're in line, and I'm like, because I know that's a shirt that his mom was like, you should wear this shirt. She's very, very liberal. You know what I'm saying? So she wants the kids to seem liberal too. I don't fucking know. Okay. But I'm like, you know, who are those? Who's that on your shirt? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, they're people in my sister's class. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I got this shirt for my sister. So I think this is a class shirt they had made. These are people in my sister's class. I'm like, nope. He's like, I don't know, Ninja Turtles? Like, I was like,
yes.
I was like, no, they're like, yeah, they were big people in human rights. And before I was going to tell him, like, you know, who they were, I was like, I'm not going to give you a big spiel on it right now. We're in the middle of a food line. the Ninja Turtle thing hit me, bro, like I could not. I'm trying to deal with the fucking, exchange of he was getting some Nesquik and some popsicles because I had to go get a gallon of milk. He came with me. He was like, "Can I get some Nesquik?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't care." And then we walked by popsicles. He's like, "Oh, look at that big pack of popsicles for only $3." I was like, "Okay, I'll grab this too." But I'm trying to do that, and I'm like fucking dying, because as soon as I was like, "No, they're not people in you," he was like, "What, Ninja Turtles?" The school system failed him, bro. Like,
Well, I mean, he's 9. Like, I mean, how much should he know about?
that's the time they did it though. They were like, when we're real little, like learn about it, and
Well, you learn a little bit more each year. So, like, as it goes on, he'll probably put 2 and 2 together. But, like, at 9, he's worried about going home to play video games and shit. He's not worried about the 5 names on his shirt.
right, yeah. But I'm big into like human rights. I get it. Look, people can hate on the president, whatever, but I can't get behind Democrats when they're like, hate on this president like this other corrupt guy. He's not as corrupt as Trump. And I'm just like, I'm not going to like anybody who is corrupt. I don't like the system in general. I think the system in and of itself should be torn down. We the people type shit. Honestly, we should be that culture where we're bartering things. People have like actual traits that's not just for, production reasons and shit like that. But we're never going to get there. And if I ever tell anybody, it's just like, nah, I'm not really going to go out and vote. They'll be like, fuck, wow, you are part of not ignoring the problem is being part of the problem. I was like, no, ignoring the problem. Or if I were to go out and be a part of, the system in place, then I'm still perpetuating the infinite cycle of the lesser of two evils.
Well, I mean,
while the consistency of doesn't matter who's in office. You can look at any graph whatsoever and understand that inflation and the cost of living are on a rise. So it doesn't matter what, things have more of a chance of being taken away and things like that, which is why, I am going to vote in this cycle just because I believe that the lesser of two evils, they're still evil. But when you have a big, like, centrical force of evil, it's just like, I can't have that.
the biggest thing is like not voting in the actual election. Yeah, that's one thing. But noticing that you do have a say in the primaries, and it's really before the primaries, like as you're picking who's going to be
Right.
that representative, that's where the power really lies. And then, yeah, it's fixing things like it shouldn't just be 2 people. It should be ranked choice voting. It should be like splitting it up so that you can vote for who you really want. So you could pick like the third party person. And then if that person doesn't have enough to push them over the edge, then your vote then goes to whoever's next in
We shouldn't just
line.
laugh at
And
independence and shit like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
it should be, yeah, you should have a legit voice in that. But the last sentence of this is very troubling. But this thing is going to be in a month or so. Part of me just wants to do it to keep the peace.
And that's where you
Nah,
say it's
girl.
like, poor girl. Like,
No, girl.
right. Yeah.
Move out. Like, go.
Yeah. Fight somebody.
And this story probably is a creative writing piece, but it was just a wild one. I was like, that is
It's so crazy because, like, it seems like the nothing burgers are like the creative writing piece. Something like this feels like a really awkward predicament that someone would be put in and
yeah.
go to Reddit about.
And then just get told fuck off.
Yeah, to fuck off. Your problems aren't real. Also, it doesn't have the real AI heavy.
Well, it was like 6 years ago too, or like it was before I think the AI really took over. But either which way, like I've met people that are definitely off where, like what the mom says is like, oh, you're just indoctrinated with this like sex negative and all. No. Like, I mean, like stepdad shouldn't be the one. Like if you wanted to do an art piece and you wanted your daughter to do it, still weird, less weird than the stepdad that is probably sexually attracted to your daughter. Like that's weird. And you should not be pushing her towards that at all.
Right. People underestimate how weird predators get. And then they also underestimate too the lengths that family would go to protect a predator. So I don't know. It's
just
the
look, you literally just redact everything that everybody says ever so that you can protect a whole shitload of predators.
right. It's the same as when someone's like, "Hey, go change because this person can't be around you guys in fucking, shorts.
Did you see the Kash Patel?
Yeah, his X videos got.
Well, no, like his testimony in front of like Congress was just redacted. The whole thing.
No. Oh, I thought you were talking about Kash Patel's porn account got leaked.
No,
Yeah, his porn account got leaked. So
I don't know.
I don't know if it was real or not, but a news article was talking about
No,
it.
he went and got interviewed by the Senate or whatever. Like he had a hearing. All of it, every single bit of it is just redacted. Like there's nothing. He invokes his Fifth Amendment right, and that's it. And like that's the only part that's not redacted in like 16 pages of him.
That's the
testifying.
world we live in right now. But yeah, I mean, if Mike is going to go vote, shit's crazy right now. That's what they get for going after my Mexicans, brother. You don't go after them. You don't go after them. You don't go after hardworking fathers.
What you got up next?
So I got a petty revenge. I exposed an affair because it was affecting my sleep.
Yeah, fuck. You can fuck whoever you want and cheat on whoever you want. Let me get some sleep.
Yeah,
You're
right.
not gonna do that.
I'm gonna get you. My upstairs neighbor has been having an affair with a married man for about 4 months now. I wouldn't care, but because it's an affair, he comes over at odd hours of the night and they have sex very loudly. He's putting it down.
He probably knows how to do cunnilingus.
Yeah, he does, right. And it wakes me up / prevents me from getting sleep. How do I know it's an affair? He never spends the night, and his car has baby car seats in there.
Oh, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, what a fucking douchebag. Some backstory. I've had issues with my upstairs neighbor prior to this. She would throw parties on Monday nights. She gets home at 2 a.m. from work, pacing her condo and having loud phone conversations. She's 40 years old, throwing parties with 20-year-olds and having affairs and living like a teenager. I tried to talk to her like a normal person about my concerns, but she doesn't care, and I've had to get the association involved to stop the parties. I hate her. So I decided to learn some more about this mystery man. I looked up his license plate, found an address, searched the address, and found a name. This person is very dedicated to getting some sleep.
Yeah.
Took the name and did some social media stalking and found the man's and his wife's profile. I made a throwaway account and messaged the wife about the affair. Haven't seen him now for a few weeks, and I am sleeping nicely. That is a great way to get revenge. I laughed so much at the top comment that is, with my luck, his wife would have kicked him out and he would have been at the neighbor's house full time.
Yeah.
That is so true. I'd have been like, fuck yeah, I solved the problem. And then, at 2 a.m., he slams, I'm moving in. You get me full time, girl. Finally. We're going to have sex every night, hours on end.
At least for the first month, and then they're gonna get into a regular relationship.
And then they'll start arguing and shit.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, I fucked up.
So the most controversial is I'm fickle. I would normally be opposed to this kind of thing, but fuck people that disturb your sleep. They deserve what they get.
Right. You know what I hate? When people that are like, and it sucks because I worked third shift for a very long time. But when people are like, every morning at 9 a.m. they'll go and mow their lawn, and I'm just like, yeah, because normal people, if you're living a day life, 9 a.m. is a good time to be up mowing your lawn.
Yes.
Right before it gets hot and shit like that. And that is the shitty part about working third shift.
Well, and it's kind of the thing of like, when your kid is being crazy, like you deal with that. And like if you work an odd schedule, you put in earplugs, you find a room that's far away from other noises. Like you don't just be like, neighbor, you can't mow your lawn on a Saturday at 9 a.m. Like you're the one with the problem sleeping. Like just deal with your problem however you can. So you put earplugs in, you find a noise solution. Like it's different than somebody throwing a party at fucking 2 a.m. in an apartment complex. That is excessive. You don't need to do that unless it's like a fucking college campus.
Right.
But
Now, before we get to this next story, guys, I do want to say, if you're not following along, hit that follow, guys, and give us a little rate, even though I know now we go from 5 stars. We got political for a second there. So
yeah. Now
maybe 5 stars is not good enough. I will say this for Republicans, though, because they had that little convention and they got on stage and he was like, now who in the audience wants to see impeachment hearings? And the crowd started cheering.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah. So I like that. I like people. Look, like I said, I'm not going to shit on a Republican for standing on their values and shit like that. People have the freedom to go with any religion they want to. I'm not going to shit on people for that. None of that stuff. I will, however, say if someone's doing very terrible things, not in the interest of our country, there's many documents of them sleeping with underage fucking kids, then that person's got to go. And I'm so glad that a bunch of Republicans at a Republican convention, when they said, who wants impeachment hearings? And they're fuck yeah.
So they were trying to like say it and then expect people
Yeah,
to be like, no.
because he tried to do it all. He was like, so who in the audience wants some impeachment hearings? And they start fucking cheering. He goes, wrong answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got to watch that video.
Like they got to be fucking in line and shit like that. No, they said, hey, look, and shout out to those fucking Republicans too.
So let's go to a very nice story.
All right.
Am I the asshole for telling a girl I saw her porn online?
But why? But why? Even if you see her porn online, why?
I think he's got some good reasons here. A few weeks ago, I noticed a girl in a porn vid online that looked remarkably similar to someone I knew from a few classes. We're not friends, but we've chatted a few times during class. We take the same major, so we've shared quite a few classes. The channel that uploaded it had a lot of videos, most of which starred her and the same guy. Normally, I'd leave it at that and not do anything else. But all of these videos had a hidden camera vibe to it. As in, it's always a camera in the corner of the room. Neither of them ever look or pose for the camera. I felt as though her boyfriend might be secretly recording her without her consent. I thought about this for a couple of weeks before I decided I should... I beat off to these videos for a couple of weeks is what he meant to say.
I thought about this for a couple weeks.
Before I decided, and then I'd glance over longingly at her.
Because after
class.
he says it, it's gone. It's over, yeah.
I decided I should tell her just in case she didn't know. I didn't want to come across as an obsessed creep or perv, but I didn't know the girl's contacts or even last name as we only chat briefly. So I thought it best just to approach her discreetly after class and let her know.
God, like, how do you know it's even her?
I mean,
How do you bring that up?
when I approached her, I tried to explain what I came across and that I was only telling her because I wasn't sure she knew about it. She was extremely upset that I'd bring this up to her in person and that I should mind my own fucking business. I tried to apologize and explain it just looked a bit sketchy and she wasn't having any of it. She asked me how many videos I'd watched, at which point I felt very uncomfortable and tried to apologize to diffuse the situation. She got even angrier and accused me of stalking her. In parentheses, like, what the hell? And I eventually just walked away. She told someone at the uni about it, and I was brought into a meeting with people I'd never met before that reprimanded me for bringing up private issues at a place of learning. They say I violated her privacy and informed me not to talk to her in the future. I didn't object and just apologized. Am I really the asshole here?
That's crazy. That is crazy. Not the asshole. Like,
Privacy. You put that online. You have no rights to privacy at that point. That'd be like somebody bringing up this podcast and be like, "Oh, you have a podcast." Like,
and I'm like, whoa, why would you bring up the podcast? Whoa, those are just for online people, for people to view online, for the public. The public is online, so
yeah, no, one of the girls.
That's like someone having sex in public and being like, "Stop watching us! Like this is private. This is a private act that you're watching.
You're
in public. Yeah."
There was a girl that I dated in my early 20s, and her boyfriend was basically just uploading videos of her exactly like this without her knowledge. And that's the thing is, like, he ultimately, yes, did kind of the right thing because he had no idea. There was no, like, performing for the camera, so he didn't know that she was aware of these videos. He did the right thing. It's wild that the university was like, that's a private matter. No, she's like, #1 on fucking Pornhub.
So. Right. Someone said they want some info. They were like, how many videos did you watch? Why were you so uncomfortable when she asked you? You tried to just apologize and diffuse the situation instead of telling her. How do you know they never acknowledged the camera unless you watched every single one of her videos?
From start to finish.
From start to finish. Research.
So the most controversial one puts porn vid of herself online where literally anyone can see it. Gets upset when someone sees it. This girl seems really smart.
Right. Damn. But I mean, so there, I'm gonna read some of the "you're the asshole" because I don't think he's someone was like, definitely you're the asshole. Time, place, manner, dude. If you really thought she was being surreptitiously recorded, that's why use that word? Because you just trying to, it's Redditors trying to seem smarter than they are.
I don't, yeah.
Recorded and uploaded in the internet without her knowledge on the internet, so they can say a big word like that, but can't put
In
a
the
proper
internet, no,
yeah in the internet. And you decided to bring it up between classes. What the fuck sort of reaction did you expect? Terrible time for a look. See, I'm gonna tear you apart once you start trying to use big words. If you didn't really think that she was unaware, bringing it up with her in an academic setting is majorly creepy and a serious violation of boundaries. You are delusional if you think you did anything right here.
Are we disagreeing with like this whole fucking comment section?
Yeah, they're fucking wackadoos. Bro was like concerned. He was like, "Hey, yeah, I came across a porn video. It looked like the guy was
Either which way, like, I mean, you can't expect to be putting your face and likeness out there and then expect nobody to ever come up to you in person. Like, even if he was just like, oh man, I love your vids, like, you're not really the asshole. Like, it's if he becomes creepy and stalks her and shit like that, yes, that type of stuff makes you the asshole. But simply acknowledging the fact that she puts porn vids up, like, you're not the asshole for that.
not the asshole." This one's downvoted 12 times. Not the asshole. How many times did you stroke it while watching her porn before you told her? I'm looking at like all the. I wish it had just like most downvoted instead of controversial.
Yeah.
That is so good. Not the situation that kid was in. He did the right thing, and fuck him for trying to do the right thing. Because
After masturbating to it for a couple weeks.
right, if anybody else knew of this and they didn't say something, they'd be like, "Dude, you're a monster for not saying anything, and you gotta protect women need protection and blah blah blah." And it's hard, but what's not hard is rating this podcast and following it, guys. I can say that it is unequivocally easy. Okay, I watch Hayden on YouTube. Okay, he makes Pokemon vids. He uses Pokemon that not a lot of people use competitively, and he makes them good. And every time I start I always like it because I am trying to support my man.
Keep him going.
Yeah, because if you don't, then one day he might stop making videos, and I don't want to see that. Even though I think he's well past the point because he's got a lot of subscribers and he's doing his shit out there.
All right, so you got 2 to pick from to finish this out. We got 2 left that are in the not safe for work category.
Let me see. I'm gonna pick the smaller one. All right, yep, that one's smaller. Am I the asshole for exposing my hub's half-naked Abercrombie and Fitch job? What? Am I the asshole for exposing my husband's half-naked Abercrombie and Fitch job? All right. I think this is funny, but I'm being called an asshole. Parties are me, 40 female, and my hubby, 41 male, and our son Mark, 18 male, and visiting friends. I can see why maybe you're an asshole. I don't know. Mark is an all-around good kid, decent student, popular, and he is also strikingly handsome. He's a college freshman, but he also models some, which he has done for about 3 years. He's legit. He has an agency. Okay, not Ford or Wilma, but what I'd call a legit medium tier agency, and he has done a fair bit of work and made some very decent money, which is helpful all around, and we are grateful for that. A couple of days ago, so that's Mark, that's the son.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple of days ago, he visited bringing in a proof sheet for a new magazine ad he is in for a fragrance. It was pretty racy, or it was pretty ... racy. Let's say there was an absence of being fully dressed, in quotations, and some rather provocative posing with another model. Frankly, I was fine with it. He's an adult, and we're talking great exposure in a national magazine. Hubby, however, was not impressed. He acted like this was positively scandalous and somewhat admonished Mark for even doing the photo shoot. We happened to have friends, another couple visiting. Mark was embarrassed at the scolding. I basically called Hubs a hypocrite and said, yeah, nothing like when we met and you were working at Abercrombie & Fitch. Backstory for those not old enough. In the early 2000s, A&F hired buff young guys as brand ambassadors in their stores. Their entire job was to stand around shirtless as greeters at the store doors. That was it. Is that real?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh, okay. My husband did that for 2 years when he was around 18 or 19 years old. His entire work uniform was a pair of A&F jeans and flip-flops. Oh, and A&F underwear if it happened to show. Husband did that for almost 2 years, although apparently now he thinks he's above it and doesn't want anyone to know. After the scolding, of course, I was obligated to explain to our visiting friends how his early career was to stand around half naked and look hot. Oh, and occasionally spray on some cologne. Hopefully, his spritzer finger didn't get too tired. Poor baby.
Yeah, you got to spray it on people like when they come into.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Husband called me some unpleasant words. So am I the asshole for calling him out? He embarrassed my son. I felt he deserved it. Edit for more info. For those of you accusing me of stealing from my son, where the heck did that come from? We have never taken 1 penny from Mark. That's what they're immediately. Oh wow, you're taking your son's
Using him
money?
as a model so that you can
You
hide
get his
your
money.
lifestyle.
That's trafficking. You're traffickers. All of his money went to his own account. It was helpful because he was able to do things like buy himself much better car than we would have been able to, buy phones and electronics and such, buy more of the clothes he wanted, and use money for college. We even kept paying him an allowance. No thieves here. There was also no full nudity in the cologne ad. How could there be? Yes, mostly underdressed, but nothing X-rated, nothing wildly salacious, more like implied, I would say suggestive. It was racy, but nothing you wouldn't see in a copy of Cosmo or GQ or such. My husband has actually joked many times about his days at Abercrombie and Finch. I guess he just wasn't in the mood for it. He didn't scold Mark too hard. It was more like maybe one day you'll get a job where you can keep the clothes on, which prompted my A&F remark, since that was precisely what he was doing. Don't you love how they first just go to that? You're stealing money from your son. You don't know their situation. Why are you immediately going to jump onto that?
Yes, I do. Oh, most controversial comment. You're the asshole for using the term hubs.
Yeah, that one.
Ick.
I immediately went to husband. I'm getting a gross boy mom vibe from this. You're the asshole. What is that boy mom vibe?
Like she's overprotective of her son.
Oh. This whole post is nothing more than trying to convince us how hot your family is. You're the asshole. That's so good,
Touche.
though.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Oh my God, my husband was a.
She got
Really
downvoted all to
buff guy.
hell. She was like, not at all. Mark definitely doesn't get his looks from me. And husband's hotness was 20 years and 40 pounds ago. I still love him, though. Yeah, it does seem like he would get downvoted for that. Yeah, my husband's not hot anymore. Motherfucker put on some pounds.
40 pounds ain't much.
That's right, yeah. That's all I did, you know? My wife met me. I was a strapping fucking muscular dude, and I put on 40 pounds like 3 times. Just 3 times, and then that's it, guys.
Somebody says, everybody sucks here. It doesn't seem like your husband was being a hypocrite, but you know he doesn't want people to know about his past. If he's embarrassing your son in front of people, just ask him to stop and talk about it later. Don't go and embarrassing him too.
A nasty one said, sounds like you're trying to bang your son. At no point did it sound like she was trying to bang her son.
She said he was handsome, but like he's a handsome young, like, I mean, that's not, you can think that your kid is a good looking person. Like that doesn't mean you're sexually attracted to them. You're just saying that like you can obviously see that they are not going to have problems with.
And you also hype your kids up for confidence too, because
But he's a model. Like you don't get to be a model by being a fucking Frankenstein. Like,
have you seen my screensaver of the pictures, the chimney sweep pictures that my son did?
No.
So he does these pictures, man, and he like the posture he used, the face and everything was elite. Here, let me show you. But like I'm seeing these and I'm like, you know, I would not let him do it, but I was like, you know, fucking you could be like a clothing model, dude. He has a great jawline. Everything, all these what is it? These like bro sciencey guys do. Oh, I wish I had the good ones, but I'm gonna show Dylan without trying to show the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some really, really good ones I'll bring in to show you. But he looks really good in them, and I'm sitting there and I'm like boosting his ego, yeah, fucking hyping him up, because that's one thing growing up guys don't get, except from like mamas. Mamas will be like, "Oh man, look at that healthy, handsome young man," and I'm gonna tell you what, when someone says it, it does not boost your confidence at all. Not even in the slightest. You're just like, oh, I'm fugly. But sit there and be like, bro, look, you're lucky, man. You're a good looking guy. You know, you're going, because I even tell them too, I'm like, you're going to have an easy time with women or fucking guys. Look, I don't care.
Yeah.
I know dad
Whatever
don't
you
care.
wanna do.
Right. Whatever you want to do with your life, go on and do it.
Yeah, no, I didn't get weird, creepy vibes from her, what she said, but
Right.
people, Reddit, we went over these rules. We went over these rules to begin this podcast. And hopefully you've listened to the other rules that we've set down that you have to follow.
We had an argument today.
You have to follow.
Yeah. You have to follow and rate, please. God, do it for us.
Rate
we give
or
you this.
berate.
we give you this whole juicy episode with all this not safe for work stuff. But we had a good moment in the car where we got into like the I love you more wars. And then I told him, I was like, there's in no way could you ever love me more than I can love you. And then I tried to explain to him what unconditional love was. I was like, unconditional love pretty much means like there's not a thing you could do in this universe that's ever going to stop me from loving you. If we got home and I punched you in the mouth and I punched you in the mouth every day until you became 18 years old, you ain't going to love me anymore.
Yeah.
He's just like, facts. Okay. All right. Well, I love you more. I'm like, okay, you don't. Move along.
Am I the asshole for letting my girlfriend, quote, stay topless?
Nope.
On Saturday night, my 23 male girlfriend, 21 female, and her friend, early 20 single female, were hanging out at my girlfriend's place. She lives in a share house with 3 other girls. Not her friend, though. Strangers whose share house she moved into 3 months ago. Share house is a weird
Yeah, that is. I don't like that. Never heard it before.
Nope.
It scares me. I don't like it.
Overseas.
I don't like people using terms I've never heard.
We're in this little den rumpus room they have. I'm smoking and they're drinking and we're playing music. Eventually, though, my girlfriend decides that flashing her boobs is a good idea. Truth. This results in a drunken flashback from her friend later on, and then eventually the party escalates to both of them going completely topless. Sounds like a good party.
But yeah,
Especially because it sounds like just the 3 of you, and
Right,
what,
yeah.
what could happen from there?
this is a great day.
They both stay like that for about 10 minutes before one of her housemates, who'd been out all night, so far we'd had the house to ourselves, came home and comes in to see what's going on. So housemate opens the door and sees both girlfriend and friend's boobs. At first, they all just laugh. Then housemate says she'll leave, but girlfriend invites her back in to chill as well. So we all go back to it, and then genuinely a minute later, another one of her roommates plus her boyfriend, both later 20s, arrive as well and come join in. I've only briefly met all these people since me and my girlfriend have only been together for 4 months, but they've all seemed cool, so I don't really care if girlfriend wants to get her tits out in front of all of them. But her friend decides having hers out at that moment isn't what she wants, so she puts her bra and her t-shirt back on. So my girlfriend stays topless for the rest of the night as we all continue hanging out and occasionally getting a good look in or compliment on my girlfriend's boobs, which again, I didn't care, and my girlfriend didn't seem to mind either. I'd go as far to say she was enjoying it. After a while, the party starts to wind down, so friend gets an Uber home and the rest of us go to bed. Girlfriend never put her top back on. Next morning, she's hungover and really embarrassed. She was stressed it's going to be weird now. One of her best friends plus 2 housemates and one of their significant others have seen her boobs. I just said, it's not a big deal. None of them seemed to, and no one took pictures or anything, so what's the harm? Just drunken shenanigans. Then she kind of turned on me, said that since I could tell she was obviously drunk, that I should have stopped her from humiliating herself, especially since I was stoned, so I was more in control. That never works.
I really thought this was going to be like someone else had a problem with it.
No, she got embarrassed the next day.
And I'm
her
like,
drunk actions.
because I was like, oh God, this is going to be one of those situations where it's like, oh, she wanted to have her boobs out, she could have it. And I'm like, if there's 2 dudes in a house and they got their dicks out, and a woman was like, I feel really uncomfortable around these dicks, and the guys were like, just deal with it. This would be a different story. So I was like, I was getting all fucked up. But then she has a problem with it, so.
Yeah, and she's telling him that since he was stoned and she was drunk, he should have reeled her back in. You never can reel in a drunk person. You can never talk sense to them. Like, it is never in the history of drinking have I seen somebody go from being like drunk and doing something and then somebody be like, hey, that's not a good idea. Usually it just causes more.
Fuck you, you don't know what a good idea. You're trying to control me.
You're
trying
trying to misogyny all over me.
Yeah, it's misogyny that you don't want me doing this. Fuck you.
I told her that was stupid. She's an adult who chose to drink. I'll stop her from bringing harm to herself when drunk, but she chose to get her boobs out. She just snapped back at me, so I threw some clothes on and went back to my place to give her some time to cool down, but that was yesterday morning, and she's been slow to respond / ignoring me since then. I think this will all blow over and she's overreacting and now being stubborn and looking for someone else to blame for it. Though I haven't told her that, of course. At least not yet. I didn't encourage her to drink or flash, nor really think I should say what she does with her body. But am I the asshole? Should I have told her to put her top back on? She was tipsy but not hammered, by the way. Yeah, no, you're not the asshole for sure. Like
Right.
she did what she wanted with her body, and now she regretted it. But like she shouldn't put that on you. Hey all, thanks for the response. I figure I'll give an update here rather than try to reply to you all. So I managed to get through to her this morning before I had to work. She apologized for how she treated me after that and semi agreed that it wasn't my responsibility to stop her from going or staying topless in a crowded room. I said it's okay and took some of your guys' advice and told her if she wants me to limit how far she goes when drunk to let me know, but otherwise there wasn't anything about her having her boobs out then and there that made me feel like I should have jumped in, so I didn't. She said she'd think about what her boundaries should be and let me know if I can/should help with that. I haven't heard how things are now between her and her housemates/friend, but I'm not going to press the issue. No news is good news, in my opinion. Still don't think they're the types to really care all that much. If they did, they would have left the room. Who cares? Like who
I love the
is-
Redditors that are like, you got to break up.
But who is upset with like boobs?
Right.
I've never met anybody that's like, ooh, boobs, gross.
Well, yeah, I don't like those things.
Like,
So I did read one comment that was really good. It was like, not the asshole.
we're just skipping the rest of the story.
Oh, is there? I thought you just read the last paragraph.
No, I'm still going. And for the record, she's not done anything like that for as long as I've known her. She's always acted like the, quote, good girl type and talked about how she's never been much of a partier, but you know what they say, lady on the streets, freak in the den with a 6-pack of cider in her. Never heard that term. Thanks to all that responded with some helpful perspectives and advice, to those that DM me, blah, 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 blah. But once again, thanks for all the helpful commenters. You guys helped reassure me when I was feeling down and confused about everything that had happened.
Yeah, I like this one. It's like, not the asshole, but be kind to her. She's embarrassed and probably hungover as fuck. Get her a Gatorade and some Advil, give her a hug and talk about it later. So, like, if that happened and, being drunk, people like to be like, yeah, a drunk person's words is a sober person's thought. It's not. It's not. Drunk people say the dumbest shit. They do the dumbest things that a normal person would not do. I hate that people, like, they try to, like, a drunk man says what he feels that he can never, and it's like, no, stop trying to, what is the word? Romanticize being drunk. Drunk people act stupid. Their body, their brain, their liver is actively poisoned.
Yeah.
They are doing things that they probably would never do. If she's drunk and pulling her boobs out for people to see, it is perfectly acceptable for her the next day, her to be super fucking embarrassed about that, okay? And obviously, because she's embarrassed, she's panicking and all this stuff, she has put in the blame on the boyfriend, okay?
She just wants to not be the one that's solely responsible for this.
Right.
She's trying to say that you should step in. No, like, it's not, like, if she was about to hurt herself, yes, like you said. But outside of that, 4 months in, yeah, you can't tell her, like, you're not married, you don't have kids together, like, there's no, like, full-on life together, so you can't just be like, put your tits away, Sarah.
Right. But once again, this guy's not going to be the asshole for, if you're at a bar and there's a super drunk girl pulling her tits out for people, and you look over at the boobs, like, it's not, if you coerce a super drunk girl to pull out her tits, now you're in the wrong.
Yes.
Like, if someone's drunk, okay, and then you coerce, you are in the wrong, okay? If someone cannot get, and it's just all about the fucking consent part. If someone cannot unequivocally give you consent, okay, and before anybody ever gets on the whole, what is the age of consent? A child cannot give you consent. I'm sorry, cannot give it. Their brains are not fully developed, okay? A drunk person's brain is not fully developed.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's an act of dying. But yeah, her, just pulling out her boobs, she's going to regret that the next day. You're not the asshole, but also to just try to think from her perspective how embarrassing that would be if, I guess you were whipping your dick out, everybody was cool with it, and you're just like, fuck, I wish I didn't show a whole bunch of people my penis.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the hard part is like, you can't, I mean, me and my wife have had, like, so I've got 2 stories that I can tell if you want me to tell 2 stories.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Me I think I was 21, I had a buddy of mine. We were partying literally every single weekend. And I think I might have told this one before, but I told him, he's like, dude, you get kind of rowdy after you drink like a whole shitload of rum and a lot of beer and all the rest of the shit that we have, and then you start smoking weed and all this stuff, you can get kind of rowdy, you kind of losing control. I was like, yeah, no, I know, I've been acting like a shit. Like, okay, so this weekend, when you start to see me go down that road, just let me know. And like do it gently, because like I'm not gonna react very well to it if you're kind of aggressive with it. He's like, yeah, okay, got you. Fucking Friday night, drinking, and I'm going as far to blackout as I can get. And he's like, hey man, maybe you just slow down a little bit. I'm like, fuck you,
Yeah, maybe you just
piece of
fucking
shit.
slow down.
You fucking asshole. And I had just made like I think I was making what's the red strawberry daiquiris. Girls love strawberry daiquiris, so I had a gigantic bottle of rum.
Well, women got good taste because alcohol is disgusting. So anytime someone's like, I made this fruity mixed drink, I prefer that over disgusting.
So I just made some for the ladies, and then I made one for myself. And I was outside and I was drinking, and we did not have air conditioning because it would cost like $500 a month. We were poor. So we had windows open and fans in them. Fans in them. So I walk around and I'm taking a piss like right next to our fence, and I hear through the window my buddy telling the exact story of what just happened.
Oh
He's
God, no.
He's like, yeah, man, he told me to like, trying to pull him back from the edge if he was drinking too much. And I hear him saying that while I'm pissing. And so I finish pissing, put my dick away, and then I just throw this full strawberry daiquiri up at the window, fan in the window.
Oh my God. I thought you was gonna piss in it.
No, because like it's high.
Well, I didn't know it was high. I thought I was like, oh God.
So I throw this fucking strawberry daiquiri through the window, and like as I was coming back around the front of the house, like should have got my ass kicked, but luckily, like as I was walking in front of the house, one of my buddies is like, "We're going to a frat party. You want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah!" And I just hop in this vehicle, dip out. My buddy comes out to like beat my ass.
Right.
Not there. I'm just gone.
Right.
And so the rest of the night, I think I lost my Motorola Razr phone. It was like in my buddy's Jeep Cherokee. It was in his seats, and I looked for it all the next day. Couldn't find it anywhere. That's where it ended up being. But so my girlfriend's calling, my buddy's calling. They have no idea where I've went off to, and I'm shit-faced drunk. And we go to this like big frat party and all. There's multiple stories that happened at that party. But yeah, like so. You can't just be like, hey, drunk person, maybe don't be so drunk and don't act like an asshole. It doesn't work.
And the funniest thing is you hear that story and then you hear who Dylan is, and he's like pretty well put together guy.
Now.
Yeah. But apparently fucking drunk. What's the next one?
So
But before you tell the next one, guys, God, it would be so nice if you were to just hit that follow button. Just tap it gently. Okay. And then you go over to that rate and you just tap it. Tap it good, okay? We'll know if you did it or not because we can see how many followers we currently have and then the amount of rates.
And watch it just drop.
Followers up here, rates all the way to the floor.
So when me and my wife started dating, I think we'd been dating for a couple months, and we were out at a bar, and she is the definition of like one alcoholic drink, and she's shit-faced. And so we were out somewhere, and it was getting close to closing time. And I think she'd had 2 drinks at this time.
Uh-oh.
And then somebody was offering to buy shots. And she's like, oh, take one. I was like, dude, you don't want to do that. Like, you just don't. Like, I know what happens the next day, and you're, like, always miserable, and you hate drinking because of what you do to yourself that night. And then the next day, you pay for it, like, the whole next day. I was like, maybe you just don't do that. And she's like, are you telling me I can't have another one? I was like, I'm not telling you you can't. I'm just advising against it. And she's like, you can't tell me I can't drink. And I was like, fucking go for it if you want to. Like, I'm going to be the one holding your hair back while you're throwing up. And like,
Right.
I'm going to be the one that has to nurse you back to health tomorrow. But like, if you want to, go for it. And then like the next day she's like, yeah, I wish I wouldn't have had that extra shot. I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to be a dick about it. And like, I learned how to talk to drunk people, but still it's like a give a suggestion. And if they don't take it, you're just along for the ride. You just, okay, this is what we're doing, and I'll try to navigate the best that I can. But
Dylan knows I'm a lightweight. He got a little malt drink. We're fishing. I drank one, and I was just like, oh, fuck.
yeah, you fucking stepped all over my goddamn.
I'm so
iced
sorry.
tea.
I destroyed his. My fat ass destroyed that iced tea, man. That's how you know you're fat, too. When the iced tea that was underneath you is exploded from one end, I'm just like, fuck. I gotta
I was
do
like, can
something
I have
about
my
this.
iced tea? And you're like, "Blur." It's just dripping.
I felt so bad. I felt so bad for that iced tea. That poor iced tea.
I've never drank that iced tea.
Look at that, guys. Y'all got a free hour and a half podcast just for, because I know y'all ain't gonna let us down. Okay, that's why I was like, we do it. Don't just because going forward after this week is over, the next 3 we don't ask it at all. But after that, going forward, we're gonna throw a thing to be like, hey, make sure you follow. We've never done that, so I was like, let's give them something because I know that they're gonna return the favor. Okay, I know it. Just like one day I'll return that favor by giving you a handy behind the Denny's. Okay, that's going to happen.
Okay.
We got to get that planned. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this extra special Not Safe for Work. We read all Not Safe for Work stories. We love you so much. Love you so much. Even if you don't, for some reason, hit the follow and the rate thing, we still love you. God, wish you'd do it, but come on, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.